Chester gazes into the mirror. He is pleased by what he sees. His nudity is unrivaled. Chester thinks, if only I had a beard, like the beard on Sir Dingletrotter, then I would surely be laid. His nips perked with excitement at the prospect. Chester puts on his dinner socks, but nothing more, and returns to the mirror. Oh yes, good fellow, he thinks. Then a knock at the door. Chester is afraid, for his door is unlocked, and the darker-skinned people loathe goblins. Chester leaps from the window. He lands in the bushes. There are twigs in his anus. He plucks them one by one, with a and a yeah. Chester is not displeased. Meanwhile, in Chester's chamber, the door opens. It's Harold, the baker's slut. He bears gifts of sassafras and goat's milk. The goat's milk is lubricant. Suddenly, Harold remembers, oh, silly me, Chester does not enjoy sassafras. Harold tosses the sassafras out the window, hitting Chester directly in his gentleman's sack. Chester is not displeased. Harold uses Chester's chamber pot in 20 seconds' time, then brushes his pubis with Chester's finest comb. Chester, being alerted by the sassafras, is watching through the window. He is not displeased, but he is sprung. Chester calls out to Harold through the window, greeting him like an old friend. My comb will be a perfect home for all those beautiful crabs of yours. Harold chimes in. Rub this goat's milk all over your hot face and you'll grow a beard in 7 weeks' time. Also, fuck me, silly. Chester is offended by Harold's language and swiftly removes the baker's slut from his home, relishing the gifts he has received. 9 weeks later, all of a sudden, Chester's face is furrier than hot muff. Chester has an epiphany. Little did he know, he had only been growing a beard this entire time so he could come upon it. Chester brushes the leaves off of his pubic region. He points his index finger towards his zipper and touches tip to tip. Instantly, he is harder than a woodpecker's raging boner. He wraps twine around his marble sack and pulls tight, cutting off the circulation. He then uses a wooden spoon to paddle his sex balls purple. Chester gets a hernia. Even with the marvelous pain, he manages to shoot a hot sperm in a perfect arch towards his face. His beard reeked exactly of pickled herring. He passes out before he is able to remove the twine from his tattered groin. His pecker is engorged, and his enlarged tip grazes his face. His tip continues to expel the milky white liquid for the upwards of 8 hours until Chester awakes. His member and his beard have become one. Try as he might, he cannot separate the two. Chester can see the obvious benefits from such a mishap, but he must address the drawbacks. He could never play croquet in such a state. Chester decides the best way to address such a qualm is to seek the advice of the High Council of Ebergarden. After 2 days' walk, he reaches the city gates. "Halt! Who goes there?" says the guard. "It is I, Chester."
Chester.
"You may approach." Chester does, and I mean in the sexual way. "Nice beard," Chester tells the guard. "I'd like to show you my cock." The guard draws his sword and swiftly removes Chester's facial hair, dropping his member to the ground, the tip wearing a fro of sorts. Chester fell on the ground in the most excruciating pain, with rats chewing mercilessly at his flesh, until he bled out.